What's hiding underneath things can be scary. Underwater, under your bed, especially what's under your carpet. Except when you get new carpet from Carpet One Floor and Home. After tearing up your old carpet, they'll vacuum and apply Health Annex antimicrobial to your subfloor, disinfecting and killing mold, mildew, and any remaining general awfulness. Carpet One Floor and Home goes the extra mile to protect you, your family, and your home. Carpet One Floor and Home in Columbia, making your home beautiful, guaranteed.
Good morning. Welcome to Radio Friends on Tuesday, May the 17th. Good to have you with us. We're going to talk today about the rights of nature. Ken Midkiff is with us. Good to have you here, Ken. And,
glad to be here, Paul.
You always talk about environmental issues. You spoke for the Sierra Club for many years. Are you still a member of the Sierra Club?
I'm not only a member, I'm also on the local executive committee.
Oh, okay, of the Sierra Club.
Of Sierra Club.
All right. You wanted to talk today about the rights of nature. What do you mean by the rights of nature?
Well, and it's been overlooked. I just recently read the book, Braiding Sweetgrass, which is about an Indian perspective, indigenous person's perspective of the rights of nature. According to the longtime Indian belief, land could not be owned by a private individual. You had to respect the rights of nature, and like deer and rabbits and squirrel and muskrats and beaver and various types of fish, that you couldn't do anything that would harm those things. So the rights of nature grew out of that, and it's been adopted by some countries, such as Ireland, by some cities, such as the cities in Pennsylvania, and it's also been the subject of various legal disputes.
And very controversial,
And
too.
it's very controversial because we have this long belief in this country that private property rights are almost sacred, and that you can do anything you want with your property. And the rights of nature says, well, yeah, you can do anything you can do anything you want with your property, but you can't do anything that would interfere with what's called the rights of nature.
And you know, when you think about this, I think part of the problem is we don't really stop to think about what we are doing to our environment in the name of progress.
That's correct.
Progress is wonderful, but we have to keep in mind that the environment should be the most important thing, because once we have tipped the scale past being able to repair itself,
right,
we've got a big problem, and we're heading down that road to a big problem with the environment. You look at some of the storms that are brewing up with climate change.
Right.
And forecasters are now saying that those storms are only going to get bigger, stronger, and more devastating in the future.
There was a recent report from the United Nations Climate Committee, and they basically said time's running out. If we don't do something soon, it'll be too late.
And you think about the drought that's occurring out west. Lake Mead has dropped to a dangerous level. I read last week that it is so low that you can see the original intake valve of the water.
Right.
And if something does not change by the end of summer, some drastic decisions are going to have to be made.
And a lot of animals have gone extinct. Most of them from quote-unquote habitat loss. And I recently traveled down to southwest Missouri, and in some areas I was aware of this rights of nature issue then, and so I was kind of thinking as I went down there, Lake of the Ozarks is basically a sacrifice zone, but the same problem exists in Springfield and Joplin and all those places that are expanding. And they're expanding because private property rights are being observed without consideration for what once was there. or what is there now and will be destroyed by a friend of mine jokingly calls it the Missouri Bulldozer Association.
By bulldozing over things.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, as we talk about it, progress, it's important, but we can have both, I think, if we are careful about what we do and really pay attention to the environment.
This rights of nature movement is not about stopping progress. You're right. You're allowed to continue to do things on your property as long as you don't interfere with other things that rely on that same property.
Right. And when you just take time to walk around, look at the trees, look at the grass, look at the wildflowers or things that people will call weeds.
Right.
They're beautiful. If you take a good look at, and they all serve a purpose. Many of those so-called weeds are pollinators.
Right.
Pollinators, and we need the pollinators for us to have food to live with.
And the monarch butterfly, one of the primary pollinators of various fruits and vegetables, is diminished by, I think, 95%. Well, you know, it used to be that there were monarchs almost everywhere.
Yeah.
Now they're almost all gone.
And that's something that folks don't think of, the fact that we're using so many chemicals at times in the garden to try to keep the bugs down. But when you're trying to keep those bugs down, you're also hurting beneficial insects that are needed for you to produce those tomatoes and for you to produce the peppers and zucchini. We all have to live together. We have to find a way that we can coexist with the environment.
Right. And my concern is that those types of things are not now being considered. They're not required to be considered. When somebody goes before the Planning and Zoning Commission in this town, they have to meet certain requirements of law, but one of those requirements that is not in law is the rights of nature. And so
is the Sierra Club trying to bring this to the forefront?
Well, the Sierra Club, as I said a long time ago, sometime back in the 70s, tried to say that they're representing the trees and that trees do have standing. And that was they lost the original court decision, and on appeal they lost that, and they finally just gave up. But it's not necessarily just the Sierra Club. It's also, I'm a member of the Center for Biological Diversity, and there are other organizations which are also involved in this.
If people want more information on this, the rights of nature, where can they go? Ken, we're out of time.
You can just Google or rights of nature, and a whole bunch of things will pop up.
Okay, Google the rights of nature, and remember, this is the only planet we have. This is the only home that we have. We need to take care of it. All right? The rights of nature, Google, and you'll get more information and see what you can do. We're out of time for today. Something you'd like to hear or see, drop me an email, pepperp@missouri.edu, and when you're out and about, enjoy the environment.